Hi there, welcome to Tuesday Talk. It's hard to believe that it's the Tuesday before Christmas. Christmas is on Friday, contrary to what I was thinking before. All week I had myself convinced that it was Thursday, but it's Friday. So anyway, that means it's pretty much last minute gifting time. So I'm going to show you some things that you can make tonight that are inexpensive and definitely top notch. So we're going to be using amazing casting resin, and we've used that before. The reason we're using this tonight is because it's a two-part epoxy that sets up in 20 minutes. Because if we're going to be doing some last minute gifts, we need something that acts pretty fast. So we're going to work with that, and we're going to work with Dixie Belle paint, and we're going to work with redesign with Prima molds and transfers tonight. So the first thing I want to do is to do a little bit of pouring, because that'll give it a chance to set up so that we can do some paint and some transfers on some of the other molds that I've been doing. So I'm going to show you those in a minute, but let's get started with mixing. So whenever you get amazing casting resin, you get a part A and a part B in there. And you always want to mix them in equal parts. And if you've ever watched before, you found out with me that you never want to mix it in too big of a quantity at one time. And it does set up really fast when it's warm out. So I already mixed some this evening. So I used the little cups that come with it. I have them here, but I only was doing 10 milliliters at a time. And I used the other little medicine cup that came with it. So I'm using 15 milliliters, and I'm using a big yogurt cup. So we're just taking the two equal parts and pouring them in together. And then this stuff you mix together, and it gets cloudy first. You won't be able to see it in here just because this is a white container. But it gets cloudy first, and then it goes clear, and then it's time to pour. So I've been being a messy pourer tonight, so maybe I can sort of make a spout on this yogurt container and do a little bit neater job. As you can see that I've been spilling, but this is hard. This is already set up. So I did this earlier, and it's hard. Okay, so like I said, if you had this in a clear container, you can see that it goes from cloudy and then it gets clear. So what we're mixing up is a couple of parts to what I already made. So, and I'll show you that in a minute, but we're going to mix this little earring. Well, it's going to be an earring. This is a redesign with Prima mold. It's a little doll head and some other little figures. So ideally, you want to be on a flat surface. I have sort of a cut up grocery bag underneath, so it's not entirely flat. So I'm kind of going to try to keep an eye on it to make sure it's level. So that's a pretty good pour, and I'm going to set that one aside. Okay, and then earlier I was making earrings, and this one got cast, but I didn't get the top of it right. So I am going to try to re-pour on it. I don't know that I've ever done this before, but we're going to give it a whirl. Just want to make sure that I get that top part up there. Which is interesting because I'm not pouring it from scratch, but I think I'm getting it in there. Yeah, it looks like it's pouring in there now. We'll find out. Sometimes I use the stick to kind of coax the material in the right places, and that's okay. Okay, so we're going to set this one aside as well. Okay, and then this other one, I'm going to use this little stick in here. It's a little branch. Oh boy, this is starting to set up. See, even 15 milliliters was too much at one time, I think. So it's really thick and goopy, and it shouldn't be that way. Darn. Look. Okay, looks like I'm going to be getting another yogurt cup because this set up kind of in midair. If I can pull this all out at once, I can use this cup again. And I think I can. Well, that's weird. Look at that, would you? So I don't know what that'll become, but we're just going to set this aside. Interesting. Okay, so I'm just going to mix a little bit more here. I'll put the screen up. So I definitely want to get that other piece there. So we're just going to do a little bit more. And then there's another one I want to make an earring out of. So a little less talk, a little more pour, right? Okay, I'll go ahead and pour that in there. This is part A. And part B. So are you guys getting your shopping done or your crafting? I hope so. And how about your cookie baking? Let's add a little bit more in there. Pour it a little back in. I think I'm done with my cookies. Now, if I could just stop eating them, that would be good. This is weird. There's like some in there that I missed. So I'm not going to take real long to mix it. I think we'll be okay. All right, let me get this stick poured or this branch. Oh, and I got it poured. Okay, a little bit more on this end. Oh, I guess I should let you watch. Okay, so we got that poured. This spilled over a little. That's okay. We're gonna make up for that. I just want to get this other one here. Okay, and I'm going to show you all these, but I definitely wanted another one of these to make a set of earrings. And I have some other ones poured. I think that one. I just want to use this up. This is one of my favorite ones. These also make cute little necklaces, little pendants. So I'm just going to keep pouring here. I don't think I've ever used this one. It has a lot of intricate details in it. Oh, I know what I wanted to pour. I wanted to do another one of these. Of course, I wait until I've used it all now. Okay, this is not a redesign with Prima mold. We'll just make one. That is from Wish, but I actually love that mold. Okay, so I'm going to set these aside, and I'm going to show you some of these other molds that I have here, and then I'm going to show you the ones that I did. Okay, let me try to get this out of the way. I'm trying to keep everything kind of organized here so I don't make too big of a mess. Okay. So what's weird is they get white when they set up. And the weird part is like the areas that you would think that would set up the first that are narrow and small, those are the ones that take longer to set up. So kind of weird. But anyway, let me show you the menagerie of things that I have molded just since about 7 o'clock. So I thought we could do some pendants. And so this is one of the flower molds. Excuse me. And then here's another one. Now, this one I drilled a hole. I have this little Drill Master drill from Harbor Freight, and it's really nice. You just plug it in, and it's just a little whirring, but it will drill right through this material. Now, this one was a happy accident. I accidentally left a hole when I poured it. So no need to drill a hole for that. But that one has a little drill hole. And this is we're making jewelry tonight, just so you know. Okay, so like I said, that stick that I poured, this is a branch. I thought these would be really cool earrings. Now, it doesn't look like much when it's white like this, but I brought home some really cool stuff to work with, which I'll show you here in a minute. Okay, so this redesign with Prima mold that I poured this little head, and you know, it's like you think, what do you do with that? But also in that same mold is a heart. So I did mold the heart too. I think this is there's a larger one. I thought I did a larger one. Oh, I did. Yeah. A larger head and a larger heart. But this would be cute. I actually saw one of our Christmas ornaments, and it was almost just like this. So it kind of inspired me to put these two together, and I'll show you how we're going to do that and what colors we're going to use for it. And then there's also a little head in that one and a little heart. Okay. And I have all kinds of cool jewelry findings that I think will go with these. So you saw me pouring in that one, which is called a knob topper mold. And these make the cutest little earrings. So I saw this one was kind of like a little flower. So that's why I wanted to pour the companions to those. So I did some other ones earlier. Like I said, I was being really super sloppy earlier. So these sort of need cleaned up. You can use you can use scissors, or you can use just an emery file to clean them up. Okay, so again, this is not a redesign. It's a wish mold, but I love these earrings, and I'm going to be using some transfers on these and making some cool earrings. These are bigger motifs out of that knob topper set, and I already drilled a little hole in here, so we can do a little pendant out of that one. And I poured another one of these because I thought that would make a really cool earring. I think that's pretty. And another knob topper. And then there was a larger shape like this. I don't know what this is called, but there was a larger one of these. So I thought this would make a great pendant. Not whether you'd wear it like this or like that. A little too big for earrings, but I think it would be a cool pendant. Nice set. You could wear them together. Okay, so one of the earring sets from Wish, this set. So I never thought I would like these, but then I saw I just saw some earrings that were like double decker. So I thought I could suspend that from the inside of that. So I thought that would be a cool earring. So I made a couple of these up in advance. So we're going to play around with those a little bit while we're waiting for that to dry. And I also want to show you. So again, this is called Amazing Casting Resin, and it dries white and it hardens in about 20 minutes. They also have clear resin, and the clear resin takes a day to set up. But I want to show you, I think that we poured these together. I'm not sure, but what I did was I poured them in these molds, and then I used what I brought home tonight, the um, gemstone mousse, and this is a diamond. So that's a pair of earrings. So I think they turned out really good. Oh, other things that I molded. So this was a flower mold too. Not sure what to do with this one exactly. Could be a pendant, I guess. Then these, I thought, and I have to show you the molds. I'll do that. I'll show you the other molds here. So here's a flower one. I should have the names of these written on them, but I don't. So I'll have to do that. I'll have to look all these up. But that one, I love this rose in here. I know they have a bigger one that's called the Etruscan rose, but this one I like too. And then this is the one with the Roman numerals in it. So I made some Roman numerals, the X, the V, and the I in the smaller. And then I made a couple of the bigger ones, the V and the X. I thought these would be cool pendants. And these you could put a couple of them together, maybe, on one. And I'm thinking a longer chain. So, and you can see, like I said, I was kind of sloppy pouring earlier, but you can see whenever there's residue on there, it's real easy to just peel it up and clean these things up. So, and last week, if you watched, we made, before we ever used for crafting, but we used fresh molds because they are silicone and they are food safe. So we molded some chocolate in them last week. So that's something you can do with these too. As a matter of fact, this one is really good for that because they're nice and small. Those other ones are a little large. So, okay. And then here's another one. I love this one. I actually have this big thing molded and I want to do a statement necklace. I think it's pretty cool. I also like this motif a lot. It's really a nice one for jewelry as well. And then this one, I still left some material that wasn't quite set in there, so I'll have to clean that up. But this is the sunflower mold. So you make it as big as you want, but there's the center, and then here's leaves, and you just make the leaves. And then here's another size center, and then some smaller ones. So that's a pretty one. I have a sunflower dresser at the store that has the molds and the transfers, and it's really pretty. So again, there's some residue in here. Was this the one I made? Oh, I thought I made another stick. Oh, you know what I did? I poured it. No wonder it's sticky. I poured it and then I picked it up, apparently forgetting that I molded it. So I made a mess. So I really wanted to make that pair of earrings tonight. I'm going to let this firm up and then clean up my mess, and that might be a follow-up project. Done it again. Okay. Alrighty, so let me get started on putting some of these together and showing you some of the other stuff that I have. I have some jewelry findings here, and I have these pink, they're leather necklaces, and I thought the little doll heads would be cute on these. So, and I have sterling earring backs, and I have all kinds of stuff in here, jump rings, and you name it, we got it. We also have some ring blanks. These are filigree ring blanks. And some of them have tarnished, so I thought that maybe we could paint some of them. And these little things would make great toppers. I also have some stones that could just simply be glued on there too. So I have all kinds of stuff. Fun stuff. So, all right. So I'm gonna start by putting some plain paint on some of these things. So it has a little time to dry. So I brought home Dixie Belle's fluff, and I'm just gonna put the screen down, and I'm just gonna start painting some things so we can set those aside to dry. So I'm gonna do the flowers first and some of these other pieces. Try to get the painting done first so then we can come back in, because we have, I brought home some of the brand new things from Dixie Belle, and we have some new Gilding Waxes, and one of them is called, well, there's a line that's called Chameleon. There's 3 colors in it, and I brought home lilac. So I want to see what the lilac looks like on this fluff. Next week, I think what we can do is I'll bring home all of the Chameleon waxes, and the reason they're called chameleon is because they change colors based on how the color that they're painted on. So what I think might be fun is for us to experiment with all of them. I'll use 3 or 4 different paint colors, and we'll put the chameleon waxes on and see all the different colors that we can come up with. We'll just have some waxing fun. Okay, I'm gonna get the edges on these. And I know it's a pain to look at the screen this way, so I'll do my weekly begging and ask that you share these videos and subscribe if you're not already subscribed, because that will help me get to my goal of 1,000. We're at 417, I believe, right now. So we're growing every week. That's awesome. But once we get to 1,000, of course, I don't want to stop there. But once we get to that point, then I can use different devices to go live. So that means better video quality and just a lot more flexibility on what I'll be able to do. Different camera angles and bigger projects. And I'm looking forward to that. And I hope you are too. So feel free to say hello. I'll have to check the comments. I can't see them when this screen's down. So that's another reason why it would be nice. Okay. And just going to keep going a little bit, painting some of these up. Doesn't take long to paint them, but then we'll let some of them dry and do some second steps and work on some transfers. You have to know who you are to wear that piece, right? But I bet you all know somebody that you can say, I can see so-and-so wearing that piece. Especially once we get to the end, when you can see what it's really going to look like. Okay, so these earrings, let's do a couple of these, and then, so I want to do the smooth ones with transfers, so I'm going to And some of them I'm just going to paint in the silver. So I think I'm good for the moment. Let me see. I'll tell you what. I'm going to put the screen up a second, and let's have a little look over here. And you can see that these are, they're hard and they're dry. So look how easy that was, just popped right out of there. I'll do it again so you can see it. Pop. Boom. And this is the one, oh, that's not the one I just did. Oh, that's pretty. You can see the detail in that. It's trying to get it to the camera and trying to get the light on it so you can see it. That's the other flower one that I wanted to do. So I won't do all of these, but just want to get some of them done so you can see some finished products tonight. Okay, so we have those, and that didn't take very long at all to mold. So you can see sometimes they come out and they have an extra little piece, and you can just pull that off. Okay, so let's look at this one. And it's coming out, but I think it could use a little more time in there. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and pull this out because I want to show you something. So look how flexible this is right now because it isn't quite set up. So for my purpose, I want it to be hard as a rock because I want it to simulate metal for an earring. But if you were painting furniture and you wanted to put this around the edge of a curved drawer front or whatever, it would be, now's the time to glue it onto the furniture and you can make it flexible. So I'm going to flatten mine back out because I want mine to look like metal. Okay. So let's see how this one, okay, it worked. That's the one I poured over top. Now I have to clean it up a little, but that worked. Okay, so I'm done pouring for a while. I do want to do the sticks, but like I said, I think I might make that a follow-up project because I goofed and I have to clean up my mold. So, all right, so I'm going to set that aside. Okay, just a little bit more painting because I had this one done, so I want to do its little partner. These are just so quick and easy to paint. And you do probably want to paint the backs of them too. So where's the other one that goes with this? I'm stacked up. Okay, so these two will do. And of course, when I'm done with these, I'll have them for sale in the Etsy shop and in my store. And I like to do a little presentation with them, and you might want to do this when you give it as a gift. But I use old decks of cards, old playing cards, and I use a hole punch. And of course, I put one of my La Vintage Decor stickers on it too. But I just use the old playing cards, and you'd be surprised. People are so fascinated with that because we keep them right up by the register. And they just often see them, and they're just like, oh, isn't that cool? That's a neat way to, have it. So, the presentation really is part of the package, right? Okay, so those ones we're painting with the metal, and we're just painting straight on there. So, okay, I'm going to put that in some water. Put the screen up a second. Sorry, my hand. Okay, gonna set these aside to dry a minute. I really and truly am making a mess tonight, but I really want to make some projects, really get some gifts done for you tonight so you can see start to finish. So I'm going to try to limit what I'm doing so we can actually get some things completely finished. Should do all the painting first, but I'm going to do a little transferring. Okay. So we'll do a little dry work next. Okay, I'm going to put this down. And again, I can't always see what you're seeing, but I'm going to move. Okay, I guess you're not seeing this. Okay. All right, so what I've got here is my earring pieces that I have unmolded, and they're nice and flat. These are the ones from Wish, and all the holes are in them, ready to go. So I have a couple different things here. I'll put it back up a second so I can show you. So these are some scraps that I used from a big project. If you follow along on my social media, then you saw in our store, we did a dresser. Actually, Megan, who's been working in our store, did them, and she did a great job. So she helped me with them. She did most of them, but we worked together on them. Okay, so these are plaid, and there's a couple different plaids. Actually, I think I have, these are scraps, and sometimes I put all my scraps together, but I'm going to set that aside. Yeah, I knew there was another one in here too. I'm going to work with these small ones just because of the fact that they're earrings. Okay, so, and my transfer tools at the store, but I'm going to use the bottom side of this stick. Just something flat. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put this down. So, you know, plaids are the rage. So, all right. So I'm just gonna put this on here just to get an idea of what size. I need to do a pair of these. Okay, so we're working on those two. And put this up a little bit so I can see. Just going to peel the paper backing off. So that's what you're left with. And we're just going to set this down on the earring. And use the stick and rub. You know, they have those faux leather earrings that they make out of these plaids. And I like these because they're kind of a little beefier. You could do a little bit more with them, I think. So notice that we did not paint these first. We went right to the transfer. Transfers seem to stick really great on slick surfaces. So our earrings are kind of slick. Okay, so that, what we'll do, we can just rub that over the sides. And again, if I had an emery board here, I would just use it to file that away on the corner. And that stuck really quickly. There, I was able to pull it away, because what we'll do is we'll go over the sides and the back of this with the silver. Okay, so again, peel the paper away. And just put the transfer down and start rubbing. And if you peel it up and some sticks, just lay it back down. How much fun are these projects? They're so quick and so easy. Okay, we'll take something like a pin or something and poke down in there for the hole opening. But we will finish these up with jewelry findings. But that's what we've got so far. Cute. Okay, we're going to work with a little bit more plaid here. So I thought these would be so cute. These two double-decker ones. To do the middle in one and the other in another plaid. A little contrast there. So just going to cut a little piece of this. These are going to be a little tricky just because they're not just a flat surface. You have an opening in the center. So what we're probably going to do with these is to use the scissors and cut a hole in the middle. I'm going to do something unconventional and I'm going to use this little drill and make a hole. And it didn't work very well. These scissors aren't super sharp. Okay. Alrighty. You know, sometimes you just have to go back to the drawing board. Let's see what we have here. We only got a little bit of that on there. What I'm going to do, because I hate wasting even that little bit. There. I got a little cut in here. And let's just put this right back down on here and rub some more. Where we didn't get transfer before, we'll get it this time. Okay, like I said, these ones are weird because of them being open. But you know what we're going to do is we are going to touch it up with some paint. Sometimes these things end up being even better. So because of that, then I'm not going to waste the transfer. I'm just going to use the outside. Because we're doing that effect now. You know, sometimes, like I always say this, sometimes when you have like we'll call it an accident, it just kind of leads your design decision after that. I mean, I think a lot of the things that you look at that are distressed or whatever nowadays, and you think that that's the way they're supposed to be, probably happened like this, you know? Well, that didn't work, so we'll just do this with it. Because I think once we get some metal on there, some silver, that they're going to actually look pretty cool. Like we meant to do that. Okay, and then we'll just take some of the scraps of this little black and white check and do the same thing on the middle part. Whoa. Okay, that came out cute, and that'll hang in the center. Like I said, you never know what you're going to get, right? But it's always something different. Okay, so we're going to save these and do some of the gemstone mousse and diamond with these. We're going to get that out here in a second. And then these are the centers. These are their little plaid ones. Okay, I have a floral transfer that I'm going to do on some of these larger ones too. So let's do that. This is Burgundy Rose transfer. I know there's some smaller flowers, so I'm going to find some smaller flowers in here. Okay, I don't want to use just like a flower like this, even though it's smaller. I want more of a rose, you know, something like that. So I'm just gonna cut a section of it off because I've already cut it. So I'll put this down and we're working. Put it up a little so I can see what I'm doing. I have to touch them so I can make sure you see what I'm doing. Get these guys out of the way and working on these and these. We'll do both of those little hair. Okay, so these transfers out of the way. When I tell you I'm making a mess, I really mean it. Sometimes I clean up immediately afterwards, and then sometimes I wait till the morning. Okay, let's get this out of the way. All right, so we're peeling off the backing. And we're just laying this on here. Using the stick. And that just adheres on there so easily on that slick surface. Okay, a little piece didn't come off, so I'm just going to lay it back down here. Okay. And So like, is on your Christmas gift list, do you have crafting supplies? Of course, if you get a La Vintage Decor gift certificate, you can spend it on Dixie Belle paint or redesign with Prima. And I don't have a redesign with Prima on my website yet. I'm working on that. So that's going to be coming soon. But if you want to order Dixie Belle paints, you can go to lavintagedecor.company or my Facebook page and order paint. I actually don't have the mousse on yet. Or the Chameleon Wax. I need to get busy. I need an assistant is what I need. I need a digital assistant, someone who will help list and manage things on the website. It's my Achilles heel. You know, this time of year, as you make your resolutions for the new year, that is definitely one of them because this year's been so crazy. You know, I think it's really important to have your online presence. Okay, so you can see what happened there, and that's okay. I'm just gonna take it around the side and press it down. So we'll be painting the backs of these anyway, so it really won't matter. If you have it kind of rough, you can just peel it up and smooth it out. One more to go. And of course, with all this craziness that's happening, I think that lots of people are taking a step back this year, not worrying so much about the gifts because we aren't necessarily able to get together. So a lot of things have taken precedence. It's a lot more important things than gifts, right? So I think a lot of people are really appreciating the reason for the season, as they say this year. Okay, I think these are pretty. I like these. We might do some paint with these and use some of that lilac chameleon wax with these. All right, so let's get some of that. Here, it's right here. We're going to get the gemstone mousse open in diamond. So it's kind of like thick paint. It would pour out if we tried to pour it, but we don't want to do that. And I recommend you stir it. See how thick that is? It's a lot thicker than regular paint. It's so cool and creamy. I love it. All right, I'm going to get a separate brush. Okay, this one has a nice little firm bristle. Okay, so I want to paint these guys in silver. I'm going to do all the sides of them first, and then lay them down and finish the top. And of course, I will also finish the backs of these. Just getting all those inside areas first. And this stuff is cool. It really looks like silver. Sorry if you can't see from my fingers. I'm just trying to hold it down. This is one of those times when you need a little tool or something. So I always have paint on my hands, so I guess that'll be my little tool for the time being, is my ones I was born with. Okay, I love that. And love it to the point where I feel like it needs like aged a little bit. So I think that maybe some of the gilding waxes, like the black gilding wax, might be really cool for that. So I'll be honest, at first I'm thinking, why do we want black gilding wax? But now I see it. That's where I want it. Yeah, I brought home silver, but I don't think silver on silver is going to get the look we want. But we'll give that a whirl tonight too. We'll try that on something. Well, we've been on almost an hour. I'm going to try to hustle it. Because I want to show you just a little bit of everything, like in the process. Of course, I want you to see the finish. I'm not going to be able to finish all of these pieces, but I want you to see how I drill a hole in it, and also the jewelry finding part of it. Okay, I think they're really cool. Like I said, I think they need a little bit of, oh, let's get these. Distressing with the dark to get the details out in those. I think will be cool. Again, I always forget if I can't see what is on camera, so I hope that you're seeing it. So there's that distressed look one, which I think is kind of cool. I definitely love this. I always want to say moonshine metallics, but that's our paint, the metallic paint. Gemstone mousse. The mousse is loose. Yeah, I love these earrings. Distressed plaid and silver. Different. Okay, and then we'll do a little bit on the middle piece. And again, I'll be coming back in to do the backs of them because I think that's important to do. All right. What else? Okay, I want to do a little bit of the lilac. Oh, one thing I want to do while I have this brush out is I want to paint, you can see, her hair in silver. The ornament we have, her hair is painted in gold. So since I have silver or diamond, let's just paint with that. Oh my gosh, the consistency of this stuff is amazing. Now remember, I have a coat of fluff on here, the Dixie Belle fluff. It just goes right on top of that beautifully. I love that. Okay, now I'm just looking over to the ornament, and I think I want to paint some more on these, but I'm going to just go around this part. Around the edge. But I think I want to do something else in the center. Okay. All right. I'm going to put that away for the moment. Enough painting. And I want to show you some of the gilding wax. Okay. All right. So we have gilding wax in silver, and we have gilding wax in lilac. And you can use your hands, your finger with these, or you can use a brush, whatever you want. I love the little cans. So that's the difference. This is wax. Oh my gosh, they smell so good. Today I was showing a customer, and I put a little bit of this on the back of my hand, and I said, oh, you could use this for eyeshadow. Oh my gosh, but it smells so amazing. This is lilac. Okay, so let's put this down here. And I think I'm going to use a little brush. And I'm going to use the lilac first. And I'm just going to go in here. Now, I don't have any paint on here. I don't know if you can see how that shimmers, but it's just kind of adding a little extra detail to this. It's not showing up a lot color-wise on this white. But then again, this is that smooth surface and not the chalky. So I'm going to go over something that I painted already. Just finishing this other one here. Okay, so that didn't do a lot on there. We'll come back and revisit that. Okay, let's look at some of these flowers here. Okay, so remember I used some fluff on here. So I'm going to use this wax and highlight these flowers. It's very subtle, but it's iridescent. I don't know whether you can see it. I can see it. I think we'll do a little silver on here too. So the Chameleon Waxes come in lilac, cactus, and apricot. So I'm anxious to open the rest of them and see what we got. So I think some cactus would look pretty in the center there. Even the apricot, all three of the shades on here would be beautiful. But this is just real subtle. And then I'm just going to take the silver and do this part in the center. Now remember, right now I'm using a gilding wax, not the gemstone mousse. So you can kind of manipulate this around with your fingers if you like. This actually seems a little darker. So this might be, this actually might be good to give it that little bit of distressing. Nah, I think I want to come back in with the black on these. I love these. Okay, so again, this is kind of giving it more of a metallic look, but you can still see that iridescent on there. So I don't know whether you guys can see it that well. Okay, I'm gonna just use the silver on here and just, actually, I'm just gonna take my fingers and just use it to go over the whole surface here. And the wax just sticks to the raised parts. I wish you could smell this. It just smells amazing. It's, I don't know how to describe it. It's different than regular wax. Okay. All right, and then the other ones that I painted, I'm just going to do the same thing with the lilac. That's really pretty. Okay, so I had some of the silver on my thumb somehow, so I got some on there, but that's okay. It's just giving it more detail. I got a lot on there, but I'm going to kind of work it in. Wow. I really like the way that looks. I'm going to put a little bit more on this one to make them match. Oh, and I got a lot more silver on there. Kind of has a real retro look with that lilac in there and the silver. I think this one needs a little more silver. Yeah, I think they look kind of cool. Okay, so I was going to put a little silver around there and I didn't get to it yet, but I will do that. Okay, gonna put the lids on these guys. Wipe my hands a little bit. Okay, so we've been on over an hour, so I'm gonna get to a little bit of this end of it. So let's do a couple pairs of earrings. So I'm going to start with the ones that have the holes in them already. And again, I still want to paint the backs of these. And I will do that. Let me get my little pliers out, my jewelry pliers. And okay, I'm going to need to drill a second. Oh, I guess I only need to poke through the transfer on those. I'm going to need to drill some of these other things. So I'll do that real quick. So I'm going to take this that we just finished, and I'm going to go up to the top, and I'm just going to drill a hole in here. There you go. Just went right through. Sometimes you need to go through again from the back. So just to get the rest of that plastic out. Yeah. So see? Nice little hole. I'm going to do the other one here. Perfect. That one went right through. Okay. I just wanted you to see that so you could see. Now it's going to be a little tricky doing the twig because I think I'm going to have to do it from the sides, but I'll work on that. Oh, and I also, these ones too, I'm going to have to be really delicate getting them drilled. But you know what? I'm going to, sometimes if you lay it down, I'll put this down a second. I feel like my bit is loose. Tighten that up a little bit. I almost feel like I'd have better control if I did it from the back. Okay, so it's a little off center, but there wasn't much choice, so I'm going to try to do the same thing on this one. Turn it off first to get it started. Oh, I did it from the back. Okay. So I went off the side. I have to think on how I'm going to repair that, or if I just have to start fresh. Okay, I might have to do that. All right. So with earrings, you need jump rings. So I have a variety here, and usually have to start out with larger ones with these thicker things. Hopefully these are big enough. So you have the little ring, so you have your pliers, and you just twist and separate the ring. Okay, and I poke that right through that transfer. Now you just want to join up that ring. Okay, so it's even and close. Okay. What I usually try to do with things like this is where that seam is, I like to try to get it in the middle so you don't see it. So then you can kind of tighten up on it a little bit. Okay, another jump ring. And sometime we can go a lot more in depth in this and show you a few other things so when we're not so rushed, because this hour was so funny this evening. I said to my husband, because I was getting ready, just seemed like the hour to get started tonight took forever. And now this hour that I was with you went so fast. Okay, I didn't have that in there. Get it lined up and close together again. Okay, and again, I'm gonna bury that seam. And give it a little squeeze. Okay. Now, what I like to do then is take a smaller jump ring. Usually go the next size down, or even smaller than that. Yeah, I think I'll go another one smaller. The reason why I do a second jump ring is so that the earrings hang nicely. So getting them out and then getting the wires out. Now these are not sterling, but these are. So if you're going to tell someone that it's sterling, make sure that the part that goes through their ears is sterling. Okay, so again, we're just going to open that up, hook it in there, and then you can hook the other part on. So there's a front and a back. The back is the larger part. So I always like to make sure that you have your front lined up with your front, obviously. Okay, and again, we want to close that up. Okay, let's do the other one. And I'll be painting the backs of these. Okay, so the front. All right, so we'll paint the backs. So there's a pair. We'll get those finished up. Let's take these guys and finish those. And these ones, I'm going to have to get some wire. I didn't bring it home, but I'm going to have to get some wire and suspend that in there because I don't have any jump rings that are big enough. I don't think. I'll have to look. Oh, and I want to show you one other finding too. If you don't want to drill in these, you can use glue, and I'll show you the other finding. So you want to make sure that you get these together, because if not, that other little jump ring is gonna just slip right through it. I don't have that together real good. I'm gonna have to keep working with that. Anyway, gonna put that in there. Well, I hope you'll consider making some homemade gifts and using some 2-part epoxy and some molds and transfers and Dixie Belle to make it all happen. So these don't necessarily have to be gifts for someone else. They can be gifts for you. Or you can make them to sell. You'd be surprised how many of these little things sell. Oh, forgot to put my ear wire in. That's the front. Especially with that presentation. Like I said, the little cards, the playing cards, that is so cute. You'd be surprised how many comments that we get about that. They're like, oh, who thinks of this? And I'm like, me. Actually, cannot tell a lie. I saw it on Pinterest a long time ago. Okay, I do another one here. And then we're about ready to wrap it up. I'll tell you Merry Christmas right now. And I'm still planning on having a video on Saturday, the final part of the coffee wine bar. I really hope I get that finished for you and for me. So the fun part's coming up. All right, so we have these. I think those guys are cute. And again, we'll be painting the backs of them. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me tonight. And as I get these finished, I will post them on my social media. And I want to thank you. And again, thank you for watching all the time. I appreciate it. And Merry Christmas to you and happy holidays. Bye.